Good morning. Well, this morning I'm going to do some prep work. Guess what I'm making? Lemon, garlic, parsley, and some fresh tiger shrimp. I'm going to make shrimp scampi, one of my favorites, and it's so easy to do. So that's what we're going to have for dinner tonight. And I'm going to turn this into a lovely meal, and I'm going to serve it with some bow tie pasta. I'll tell you all about how I make it in the description. So, I'll show you how to devein and peel the shrimp in this video and do a little bit of chopping as well. Because later I'm going to cook the shrimp and I don't want to cook it ahead of time. All right, follow me along. I'm going to be cooking my pasta early and warming it back up later. That's a nice time saver. And not only that, there's a little something that most people don't know about pasta. A lot of people are afraid to eat the pasta because it's high in carbs and it turns to sugar real quick in the body. But if you cook your pasta up ahead of time, drain it and put it in the refrigerator, let it get nice and cold for at least a few hours, and then you reheat it, well, it does something to the pasta that when you eat it now, it's more like a fiber as opposed to a sugar or a carbohydrate. Do some research on that one. And you'll maybe put some pasta back in your life. And once in a while, I will have pasta. I'm not a big pasta eater, but I thought I'd share that one tip with you. And now I'll have this cooking while I do some deveining of the shrimp and peel it. So I'm just going to put the gas on low. Let that kind of cook up there. And I'm going to cook that till it's al dente. And let's see, this should take about maybe 12 minutes or so. Let's see what the bag says. All right, hold on here. Yep, all righty. Have some salt in there. And all right. Okay, where are you? Where's the time there, fellows? Yep, about 10 to 12 minutes. So I'll start testing it after 9 minutes. So it's been in there for over a minute already. So I'm going to put the timer on, and I'm just going to set it now for about 7 minutes because I think I've been talking for about that long. All right. You know, a lot of people get freaked out about cooking sometimes because they think they don't have enough time. But if you get some of your prep done early, it's going to save you a lot of time. So now I'm going to peel, like I said, the shrimp. I'm going to watch the pasta. When that beeper goes off, I'm going to give it a stir and see what it looks like and drain that. Like I said, I'll be putting that in the refrigerator. And right now I'm going to show you an easy way to peel shrimp. Now these are nice because they've already cut the backs. And as you can see, this is nice and clean in there. I don't see any kind of spine area or anything. And then what I do is I just take it and I usually just twist that part off. You know, you could leave the tail on for some dishes, some people do, or you can pop it right off, which comes off really easy. And just throw it in a dish like this. You could save those and make put them in your freezer and save them for a broth. If you want to make a fish stock, or a seafood stock, I should say. All right, so now again, just pull the peel off, and sometimes they'll even give the tail end just a little squeeze. See that? All right, put that in there and this in the bowl. All right, let's keep this all there so you can see what I'm doing. It's a little tricky with the camera. All right, again, look like this. Make sure this is all clean through here. These have been soaking for a while. They were in the freezer, so I had put them in some cold water. They've been in my refrigerator since yesterday. Okay, there you go. And it really doesn't take that long. Sometimes you can just squeeze that first and it'll pop right out. I mean, it's so easy. It really is. See, squeeze and peel. I mean, doing your prep work ahead of time whenever you can, even the day before, saves you so much time. And then, like I've told you before too, if you make extra food, save some of it for another day. You freeze what you don't use. Depending on the food, of course. But I'm going to squeeze that. That one's missing part of the tail, but it'll still come off. And again, it doesn't take that long. You know, wear some gloves if you're squeamish about touching, slippery things. I suppose at one point I was squeamish about that, but after many years I've kind of gotten used to doing a lot of this. Okay, but yeah, these are beautiful shrimp. I've had these before. They're so delicious. I think I paid I think it was £1 of shrimp. I don't know. Now I'm trying to remember what it said on the bag. But anyway, it was a good deal because look at the size of those. Those are really nice size. Okay, squeeze and peel, or peel and squeeze. Yeah, just make sure that's all clean in there. If it's not, then what you would do is you would just take a knife. Let's say there was a spine thing in there. Then you would just kind of take that, split down. See what I'm saying? You would split down the back of the shrimp with your knife. And then you would open it up. And if there is any of those black things in there, you just scrape it out. Sometimes you can do it. You got to be careful, though, because it's slippery. You don't want to cut yourself. Some people will do it with scissors. You do that too. Just waiting for that timer to go off. Okay. So you can see it doesn't take that long. And shrimp, what's so nice about a lot of your seafood is it doesn't take long to cook once you do the prep work and stuff. They're slippery though. Be cleaning all this off again. Like I said, if you're into making your own stock, I did that backwards. Oh, there's my timer. Hold on a second. Let me go check that pasta. Rinse my hands off. My gloves off, I should say. Give it a stir. Yeah, it needs another. I'm going to put it in another 2 minutes. There we go. Okay, I got that on another 2 minutes. So just enough time to get these last shrimp. Okay, nice, clean, beautiful, large shrimp for the shrimp scampi. All right, again, squeeze at the tail, right here, right there. Little squeeze. And this should pull right off. Look at that. Can't go wrong. Again, squeeze, pull apart. Yeah, these are called tiger shrimp because you could see they've kind of got like little stripes. See that? Yeah, they're beautiful shrimp. And they will turn nice and pink when you cook them. All right. Next, I'm going to drain the pasta as soon as it's done. So hold on, and we'll get to that next step. Okay, my pasta is done. I saved some of the water that the pasta was cooking in. Just going to give it a quick rinse. I know some of you pasta eaters are probably horrified right now, but like I said, I'm bringing this to a chill because then it is going to be a better digestion for me and whoever else is eating it. So there you have it. And I'm going to go find a clean bowl and put that in and add a little more water, and we'll be putting that in the fridge. And there you have it. I'm going to let that cool a few moments. I've already put a little bit of water in there. This pasta will absorb, fluids, and it'll continue to cook because I don't want it mushy. You don't want mushy pasta. Okay. Probably wondering why I saved some of the pasta water. Well, later when I make my butter sauce, my butter garlic sauce for my shrimp, I'll use some of that for the pasta when I reheat the pasta. Plus, I'll use a little bit just to kind of keep the pasta from getting too dried out, and it'll add a little extra flavor for my sauce. All right, now I'm going to get going with the garlic and with my parsley and my lemon. Okay, next I'm going to do maybe about a half cup of parsley. I'm going to chop that up. And sometimes I take a shortcut and I'll use kitchen shears. But I'll cut some of it up. You could use the stems too. So that won't take long. I really should have my chef's knife. I'm just being kind of lazy. I didn't dig it out. I got a real nice one. I've been using chef knives since I was a teenager. I bought a real nice one, but man, when I get those new ones, they're so sharp. But this works just as good, and I don't want it too small. There we go. So yeah, there we go. Okay. Next, I'm going to cut my lemon in half. I cleaned my board off, as you can see first. Okay, here's my lemon. And I'm going to use lemon as I need it. So I'm just going to squeeze this lemon because I'll freeze whatever I don't use or just put in the fridge and use for something else. And just whatever lemon juicer you have, to squeeze out the lemon juice. And then the seeds also do not, see the seeds are nicely trapped in there. And these little contraptions, there's all kinds of different ones. These are the kind of old-fashioned ones, which I look for this kind of stuff when I do my thrifting and I go to antique stores. I look for some of the old things that people used to use, like our grandmothers and stuff. So that's what I do. So I don't know. I've got about maybe a third a cup of lemon juice there. If I need more, I certainly will have another lemon on hand just to have. Okay, so I'll set that aside. Next is the garlic. Now with the garlic, you have, those are all cloves in there. So you can either use a garlic press, and then they'll, cook up really quick in the olive oil and butter that I'll use. Or you can, just chop the cloves up into small bits if you like. Depends on what kind of time you want to put into it. It all is going to taste the same, no matter which way you chop the garlic. So keep that in mind. I just cut that part right off. All right. And usually you could cut this part off here. Okay. And I just kind of pull it apart then. Okay, just pull that right off. And you got all these nice garlic pieces. Everybody's got their methods to peel the garlic. I know I have a plastic thing in here someplace. I don't know. I didn't dig it out of the drawer. Here it is. A lot of people can use this sort of thing. You can put your garlic right in there. Maybe cut the ends off, and then what that does is it peels it. I put them in here, and then you just kind of, it's got these ridgy things. See that? See how rigid that is in there? It just looks like a roller, and then you roll the garlic in there, and the peel comes right off. You put a few in there, and I'll just, see what I'm doing? Then you pull it out, and the peel's supposed to come right off. I don't know if I'm demonstrating this very well, folks, but it's supposed to come right off. Let's see. Sorry for the horrendous sound. Let me tell you, that one's not coming off too easy, so I hope you're getting a good laugh, because I am. I'm thinking that's pretty funny. Okay. Let's try another one. I don't know. Pull these, and maybe you got to cut both ends. I don't know. We'll try that again. Why not? But it's a gadget. Sometimes these gadgets are more hype than what they're worth. So, all right, put a few more in here. And we're going to see if let's see what happens. So you're supposed to be able to just rub it and roll, and those peels are supposed to come right off. I don't normally do it this way, but I thought it'd be kind of fun today. And I have to say, that is a fail. It does not work. This one's not working too good. So, in that case, we are going to get this knife, and I got to say, this is so funny. I remember using that before, and it worked. But anyway, those are done. That's done. Some of them worked. Yeah, some of them came off. But, that bigger one wasn't working too well. But that's off. See, these still have you can see that still has it, but I didn't put that through there. All right. Anyway, got our garlic. There, see, that came off easy enough. So kind of works, kind of doesn't work. Okay, let me get this cleaned up. Oh, by the way, the way I was taught to do it is that you take the garlic, you put it under your knife, and you smash the knife like that with the palm of your hand. Careful, don't cut yourself. But this is for somebody who's a little squeamish on that side. Maybe you can find a better one. All right, now my prep work is pretty much done. Got my pasta cooked. It's in the refrigerator cooking. I've got my shrimp all peeled and deveined. I've got my parsley ready, my lemon juice ready, my garlic ready. I will first cook the garlic in some olive oil, about a tablespoon or two, till it's slightly browned. And then I will, get that all situated. Of course, make sure you have your eye on the garlic so it doesn't burn. I will add a tablespoon or two to the pan and then let that melt, and I will add the shrimp and I will cook it for about 2 to 4 minutes and until it turns pink. All right, and just keep cooking it, turn it over after about a minute or two and cook it in maybe another 2 minutes. All right, after that, I can turn the heat down. You don't want the heat too high on that either. By the way, I will take the garlic out of the pan first before I put the butter in, and then put the shrimp in. Cook the shrimp until it's pink. Turn it over, make sure it's pink again, cooked all the way through. Then I'll add the garlic back in. I'll continue cooking the shrimp. Then I'll add some parsley to that. All right. And then I will add the lemon juice and the minced parsley. Anything left if I want to add some more. Okay? All right. So basically you put half the parsley in, and then at the end you can put the rest in. Just use as little or as much as you want. I like a lot of parsley. And there you have it. Your shrimp scampi will be done. Set that aside, and then you can reheat your pasta up, and you can make in a separate pan. You can melt some butter if you like. Put your pasta in there after you drain it. Add a little salt and pepper, and then when you serve the pasta, have some extra butter drizzled on top, or olive oil, and then you can put your shrimp scampi on top of your pasta. Enjoy. This is Char S. Creating Company, and I hope you like this recipe. Let me know what you think.